Deep in the heart of Central Asia, beyond where roads end and maps grow sparse, the Tian Shan mountains rise above 4,000 meters, ancient, enormous, and indifferent to the modern world. Here, tucked into valleys that satellites can barely find, families live as their ancestors did for over 1,000 years. No electricity, no running water, no internet signal of any kind. This is Kyrgyzstan, a landlocked nation of mountains and nomads where nearly 1/4 of the population still practices a form of life the rest of the world has largely abandoned. It is not poverty that keeps these people here. It is something older than poverty: identity, belonging, and a relationship with the land so deep it has become indistinguishable from the people themselves. Meet the nomadic herders of the Kyrgyz highlands. They wake before the sun rises, not to check their phones, but to listen to the horses, the wind, and the sound of the mountain telling them what the day will bring. The nearest town might be 3 days' ride away. The nearest hospital might as well be on another planet. Every decision made in this valley must account for that distance, because out here, distance is the primary condition of existence. There is no alarm clock, no electric light switch is on. The day begins with the striking of a match against flint and the slow, careful coaxing of dried animal dung into a flame that will heat the family for another morning. The yurt, that circular wonder of felt and wood, is the center of everything. It takes 2 experienced adults about 90 minutes to assemble. It has housed the Kyrgyz people for at least 3,000 years. Inside, the temperature difference between sleeping and waking is dramatic. The stove burns low overnight to conserve fuel. By morning, water in an uncovered bowl near the wall has frozen solid. The first task of every day is water. Not clean water from a tap, but water carried by hand from a mountain stream or spring, often a kilometer or more from camp, uphill in freezing pre-dawn darkness. Children as young as 5 begin learning the water routine. A 7-year-old girl carries buckets that are clearly too heavy for her frame, but she does not complain. Complaint is not useful here. Competence is what the mountain asks for. There is no school bus. For children lucky enough to live within a day's ride of a village with a school, education means long, cold journeys on horseback through weather that doesn't care about curriculum schedules. Some families share a single teacher among 30 children of different ages, gathered on a hillside or inside someone's yurt. The lesson continues while the wind tears at the pages of textbooks worn to near transparency. Food comes from the animals: mutton, horse meat, yak milk, dried cheese. The highland diet is built entirely from what the herds provide. A bad season with the animals is not an inconvenience, it is a crisis that threatens everyone's survival. Cooking happens over open fire. No gas burners, no ovens, no timers. A woman manages heat by reading flame and adjusting position, a skill so embedded in muscle memory she could do it blindfolded in a blizzard, which sometimes she nearly has to. The season is not a background detail here. The season is the architecture of life itself. Summer means the high jailoo, the rich alpine pastures above 3,000 meters, buzzing with life and green grass. Winter means the descent, the hard work of migration, packing an entire household onto the backs of horses and moving to lower pastures before the snow closes the passes. Miss the window, and you are trapped. The migration is one of the most extraordinary sights in Central Asia. Entire families on horseback, herds of sheep and cattle spreading across the mountain trails, children riding beside adults who are riding beside elders who rode these same trails as children themselves. There are passes where the trail narrows to the width of a single horse, with a cliff dropping several hundred meters on one side and a rock wall on the other. The horses know the way. The horses have always known the way. Winter at altitude is not poetic. Winter is work without rest, cold without escape, and a daily calculation of how much fuel remains, how much food is left, and how long until spring. When the temperature drops to -30°C, and it does regularly, the stove must be fed every few hours through the night. Someone always stays awake. Letting the fire die means letting the family freeze. Water becomes an engineering problem. Rivers freeze solid, springs ice over. Ice must be broken. Buckets must be carried faster before the water freezes again in transit. In winter, drinking water is a precious, labored luxury. There are no doctors in the valley. Traditional medicine, herbal remedies, animal fat treatments, prayer, and the accumulated wisdom of grandmothers handles what it can. What it cannot handle waits until spring, or it does not wait at all. Childbirth happens in the yurt, always has. The elder women of the community serve as midwives, carrying knowledge passed down through generations of mothers who gave birth in felt-walled circles by lantern light in the mountains. Yet for all of this hardship, what strikes every rare visitor to these communities is not despair. It is closer to sufficiency. These families have what they need, not everything, but enough, and they know exactly what enough looks like. The social fabric here is extraordinarily tight. In isolation, every neighbor matters. Every family is depended on and depends in return. A man who lets his neighbor go hungry in winter will find himself equally alone when his own crisis comes. Disputes are settled by the Aksakal, the white-bearded elders, whose authority rests entirely on accumulated respect. There are no courts, no lawyers, no police, only the word of men whose word has been good for 60 years. The Kyrgyz oral tradition is one of the richest in the world. The Manas, their national epic, is 500,000 lines long, making it one of the longest epic poems in human history. Every generation memorizes passages. Some elders can recite for days. In the evenings, the komus comes out. This three-stringed instrument, carved from a single piece of wood, produces a haunting, ancient sound that seems to emerge from the mountain walls themselves. Music is not entertainment, it is continuity. Stories are told in firelight, not stories from screens or speakers, stories from memory, the same stories that were told in these same mountains before the printing press existed, before the compass was invented, before cities had names. Children here do not grow up staring at screens. They grow up staring at the horizon, learning to read it. By 8, a Kyrgyz highland child can identify weather patterns, track animals, navigate trails, and manage livestock. By 12, they ride as well as most adults will ever ride. The horses are everything: transport, labor, prestige, companionship. A family without horses in the Kyrgyz highlands is a family without a future. The relationship between the Kyrgyz people and the horse is so ancient, linguists believe the word for horse is among the oldest in the entire Turkic language family. A good herder reads his horses the way a doctor reads vital signs: their behavior, their appetite, their alertness. A spooked herd in the night means wolves or snow. A quiet herd in the morning means a good day's grazing ahead. Wolves are constant. They do not fear the mountains, they own the mountains. A herder who loses sheep to wolves does not call animal control. He takes his rifle, tracks the pack, and makes the calculation that every highland herder has made for centuries: how many wolves and what can be protected. The relationship with wildlife here is not romantic, it is practical and mutual. Eagles are trained as hunting partners, wolves are managed as threats. The land gives and the land takes, and the people who live on it have long since stopped asking for fairness. There is a kind of radical freedom in this life that is difficult to explain to someone who has grown up with Wi-Fi. There are no bills, no commutes, no notifications, no emails demanding responses, no schedules imposed by anyone outside the family. But the freedom is not simple. It is hard-won, constantly renewed, and deeply demanding. Every day requires full physical and mental engagement. A distracted or lazy herder is a hungry or dead herder. The mountain does not grade on a curve. Change is coming slowly to even the most remote valleys. A small solar panel here, powering a single LED bulb that runs for 3 hours at night. A battery-powered radio there, bringing news from Bishkek that arrives like transmissions from a parallel universe. Some families have acquired a satellite phone. It stays off most of the time to preserve battery. It is used for emergencies, for checking on relatives,